Hello, my lovelies. Welcome to your message here for the next 24 hours. I am posting it as a message for October 20th because I'm posting it in time for the 20th where I am. But depending on where you are in the world, 20th may have come and gone, or you may not see this video for a few weeks or a few months or a few years. So we're setting this intention that it be a message for the next 24 hours. Happy birthday to the October 20th babies, or happy birthday to you if it happens to be your birthday on whatever random day you may stumble upon this video. The card we have coming up today is the Tower. There is a cup of coffee for you. It is a major arcana card, so major arcana cards are going to come up anytime it's a significant chapter, a significant turning point. I typically say that when we have a major arcana card coming up for a card of the day, that this is a major arcana is a big energy, so it could be things happening that are setting a series of events into motion, but it might not all happen in a 24-hour period of time. However, the Tower could happen in a 24-hour period of time. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. It can be a very positive thing. It could be an awakening and a paradigm shift where all of a sudden you see the truth and you can't go back from that. You're like, whoa, I see the truth, or I'm evolving, I'm ascending, like I've outgrown this circumstance or situation. It could be a wonderful thing because the Tower can sometimes be great things that are happening that feel scary because they're pushing us out of our comfort zone. It could be, getting your big break. If there's something you've been trying to put out there creatively, it could be landing your dream job. It could be becoming a parent or finding out that you're going to be a parent. It could be, buying your dream home. It could be so many wonderful, happy things. It doesn't have to be something terrible or scary. And I know for some of you that's no consolation. So I'm going to pull clarifiers, and I don't normally pull clarifiers in the card of the day because it's called the card of the day, not the cards of the day. But we're going to do a little mini reading here around the Tower, and we're going to get some clarifiers, and we're going to ask, okay, how is this Tower coming in for the collective? What can the collective expect? So we're going to pull some details. I just want to say one more thing about the Tower before I pull the clarifiers. Some of you have heard me refer to the Tower as the cosmic prison break. If you know anything about the order of the major arcana cards in the tarot, the card that comes before the Tower is the Devil. And the Devil is when we're stuck, we're trapped, we're stuck in a situation where we have a lot of fear, or we're wrapped up in some kind of addiction. It's like we want to get out of the situation, but we can't. Or we think it might be good to get out of the situation, but we think that there's no way. So the next card is the Tower, right? The next card is the Tower, and that is when our angels and guides come in and they bust us out. And they bust us out because they waited. They gave us signs. They told us, hey, it's time for a change. It's time to go in a new direction. And we're like, oh, but I don't know. Maybe if I wait, it'll get better. Or like we were too scared. And your angels and guides are like, look, we can't wait any longer, because if we wait any longer, you're going to miss your blessings. You're going to miss the train. You're going to miss the boat. So we have to come in and we have to get you going, right? So it's like this cosmic prison break, but it's an act of love. It's not a punishment. Okay, so the Tower moments, when they come in terms of something that's chaotic, it's because like we got to keep moving so we don't miss something in the future. But I want to pull clarifiers here and get a better idea of how the Tower card might be coming up here for the collective, and we'll do 3. Please show us clarifier 1. Please show us clarifier 2. Please show us clarifier 3. All right. So, ooh, we have 5 of Wands. We have the Chariot. And we have the Queen of Swords. Okay. For some of you, something is happening today where you're making the decision that you are leaving a place. Okay? This could be a job. This could be a living situation. Now, to be completely honest with you, This feels to me like some of you may have a fight or an argument, and you just get in your car and you're gone. Like you're just leaving, like you're just out of there. So for some of you maybe this is a living arrangement. For some of you maybe this is a relationship. Maybe for some of you it's, leaving a job. Some of you might say, "Amethyst, I don't have a car." Well, it's, it's, you just might be um I don't know, taking a bus or calling an Uber or making arrangements to get a ride and go elsewhere here in the near future. But there seems to be a sense here of, like, with the Chariot, especially, you feel in this situation the people involved do not have your best interest at heart, because one of the meanings of the Chariot is basically like, well, one of the old world keywords, like back in the day when tarot was put together, was like sanctuary city, or like getting to safety, or getting away from a situation. So you may be like, hey, you know what, this isn't a good situation, they don't have good intentions for me, and so you may be disconnecting from a situation in this way. Maybe some of you are leaving a situation that you thought, oh, this is a great spiritual environment. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait a minute. This might be a cult. I got to get out of here. It could be that kind of situation. I know I had an experience. I was raised in a Christian church my whole life growing up, and I was really into it. But towards the end, I started to have a lot of doubts about things that I was seeing, and it didn't feel like a loving place, and it just, something about it started to feel very eerie for me as I was going through my awakening. And I'm not putting down churches. I'm not saying that you can't be an awakened person and go to a church, but the thing that for me, I was like, no, and I never went back. I remember that the preacher preaching on the stage that one particular day, he was talking about how we shouldn't get together, like the members of the congregation, we shouldn't get together to study the Bible together, or we shouldn't get together to study the material that we're going to be discussing for the sermon that week, because a lot of people were beginning to form different opinions on what the scripture could have meant, right? That's when we get into the whole thing where people are like, oh, well, if you look at the Hebrew word and the Greek word, and we go to the translations and we analyze, and some people get really into it in that way. But what he said was, as true Christians, we want to avoid independent thinking. And so, as a true Christian, you're just going to have me read a scripture and tell you what it is, and not question it, not think about it, not meditate on it. You're just going to memorize that fact. And for me personally, that was scary. I was like that didn't sit right with me. And so I left that organization. It could be something like this for some of you, where or somebody is giving you advice, or somebody is giving you counsel. Maybe it is in a spiritual setting and you're like, oh, this doesn't feel safe to me, right? For me, for somebody to tell me, if you're a true Christian, it means you can't think. You're not allowed to use your brain. Well, why did God give me a brain if I'm not supposed to use my brain? But to me, it's like that's not far off from they're going to start passing out the Kool-Aid, you know? It could be that kind of situation for some of you, where you're like, this person doesn't mean me well, or they're not steering me correctly. It could be that kind of situation. For some of you, it could be having an argument or disagreement, and you're like, I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm not doing this anymore. Whatever aspect of life that might be in. For some of you, there could be a move, like a sudden move that you're realizing, I'm going to have to move, or I'm going to have to relocate. I will say one thing. Typically, when the tower kind of comes up, there's chaos, and then like we're scrambling, like we're trying to figure out what to do, or trying to figure out what the next step is going to be, or what we could do, or where we could go. I will say this, the Chariot and the Queen of Swords give me the feeling, in the sense that this particular tower energy is not going to be scrambling energy. You're not going to be scrambling. You're not going to be confused. You're like, well, this is what I'm going to do, or I'm going to go do this then, or this. Like, you already have a very clear idea of where you're going and what you're doing. You already have a very clear idea of what the next step is going to be. Maybe some of you have been thinking about this for a while, but you're like, oh, well, I'll wait, or I'll do it later. And something could be happening that now it's getting sped up. Now you're doing it. Now you're going for it. So I feel that this is leaving a situation, and I feel that you're the one who's leaving the situation. Okay. Again, this is a general reading for the collective. It can happen in a lot of different circumstances for a lot of different people. But I feel that you're seeing a situation does not have your best interest, and you're breaking away from it, and you're doing what you need to do to protect your vision, your resources, your assets, maybe even your well-being in the long run. And so I feel there's a sense of like, disconnecting, and like you're the one who's making this uh, escape, I guess I'll say. So I would say that is a bit reassuring, because I feel you're the one who's in control here, or you guys are going to be the one who's in control here of, leaving a situation and going to the next thing that's going to be better for you. But keep in mind, it's a permanent change. So for some of you, maybe you've tried to leave several times, but it just hasn't happened. Well, guess what? Today's your lucky day. This one's the one that's going to stick. Because the tower is permanent. We don't go back to something when there's a tower moment. So I thank you guys for watching. You may want to check out your moon sign, your rising sign, and the weekly forecasts for this week if you haven't already. Weekly forecasts are linked in the description. Private reading scheduling, link in the description, taking my scheduling page, calendly.com/amethystangelite. Love readings for October are also linked in the description. Tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday is going to be the video dumps that I've been talking about. You're going to see those of you who are subscribed, you're going to see lots of video notifications, because I'm churning them out here, the weekly forecasts for the coming week, the love readings for November, and the 2023 12-month forecast. So prepare for those. Prepare for lots of videos getting dropped at once. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. I hope you have a fabulous day ahead. Please do come back tomorrow and check out tomorrow's message. Take care and be well, my darlings.